All right, here we go. Welcome into the Saturday Morning Tailgate Podcast, Episode 9. Good morning, everybody. Hope you are off to a great start to your Saturday, to your weekend. First one in the month of November. I can't believe, fellas, we are in the final month, full month of college football here in the regular season. The year's flown by, especially having fun with y'all on this show. Start with my man, Tim Barnard, the host of the Boston Sports Summit, of course, a diehard Florida Gators fan. And Tim, y'all got a big game today, a rivalry game against Kentucky. How do you feel about it?
I mean, friggin' Mark Stoops is on his way out. It's a joke of a game. It's a joke of a program. Let's get to basketball. Oh, wait, who are the reigning national champions of basketball?
Here we go.
That's right, your Gators. So, Kentucky fans, get the hell out of here. Love you, mean it, but get the hell out of here. You have nothing anymore. Nothing.
I'll say this. Obviously, y'all's basketball program is better. I love Will Richard. That is my guy now with the Golden State Warriors, right? He's good in Florida. He is balling out with my Warriors right now, even if the team's gotten off to a slow start. Arthur Hurst, who's a diehard Ohio State Buckeyes fan, he has had just a swimming time. Buckeyes are undefeated, Arthur, since we began the show. You think maybe this might have something to do with it?
Hey, sure, man. I'll gladly take some of the credit. I'll get on here every morning rooting for them, so I'll take it.
No question about it. So before we get into the action, our guy Patrick Brown's the comments. Feel free to chime in the comment section via X and via on YouTube. Patrick says, "What's up, fellas? Happy Saturday. Another head coach fired in Hugh Freeze. What was the last time we had this many coaches fired in one season? When's the last time we had this many coaches fired in one conference? Like, that's the thing. Like, you got Arkansas, Auburn, LSU, Florida. You got Tennessee fans wanting Heupel out of here. And I'm not one of them, by the way, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So let's get out right off the bat. The College Football Playoff Committee revealed its very first rankings on Tuesday, and we won't go through the whole top 25. We'll just show you what the bracket looks like after 1 week. So if you look there, the top 4 seeds, Arthur's Buckeyes, followed by Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama. And then the seats from there, Georgia, Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, Oregon, Notre Dame, Virginia, and as of Tuesday, Memphis, who lost last night to Tulane. The first team out would be Texas. The second team out would be Oklahoma. So Red River rivalry action there. So I'll ask you right off the bat, Tim. We're going to do this every week, I'm sure, toward the end of the season. Did the committee get the rankings right?
So I think they did to a degree. But here's the thing. First and foremost, I sent you guys, the in-depth look at the College Football Playoff Committee, made up of 12 people. And the thing that pisses me off more than anything is the fact that you have 3 head coaches, 1 sports writer, and the rest. 3 head coaches, 1 sports writer, and a former player, College Football Hall of Famer. The rest are all athletic department people. One's a freaking consultant who's part of a tech company or whatever. Why do we have athletic directors as committee members? That's my big gripe. I couldn't care less about the rankings because it's not that hard. And trust me, they're going to have to change that, the fact that Memphis lost last night. But I will say, the fact that athletic directors, what the hell did they know? And as I'm reading their bios and trying to figure out who these people are, where they come from, most, if not all of them, are current athletic directors. So let's start there with bias. But secondly, they're all like, oh, this person helped lead this team to a national championship, or they rejuvenated the baseball program, or they got the basketball program back to winning. Who gives a damn? Are they the ones coaching on the field? Are they the ones playing on the field or on the court? No, they're not. So the fact that athletic directors try to claim, oh, see, I hired so-and-so, which means I brought the program back. No, you didn't do jack. Please. Interviewing so-and-so to think, oh, yeah, maybe you should be our next coach. Lottie freaking da. Not to mention that 2 of the people who are ADs were former basketball players. What do they know about football? Like, who cares? This is a football institution, not a basketball or any other sport. So athletic directors need to stop being a part of these freaking committees. The only people who should be a part of these committees are, my thing is, former college head coaches college Hall of Fame players, and the best sports writers out there, like the most unbiased sports writers. Otherwise, get out of here with all these effing athletic directors who are probably making an extra 100 grand plus, being a part of this nonsense. Secondly, I just had to get that off my chest. I
don't even disagree with what you said. I love it.
Infuriating. But when we're talking about the 5 automatic conference bids, you have 9 conferences: ACC, American, Big 10, Big 12, Conference USA, MAC, Mountain West, Sun Belt, and SEC. This college football playoff design is still processing as if we had the Power 5 still around. You had the Power 5 and the Group of 5. And it hasn't updated for the fact that the Pac-12 is basically non-existent anymore. So they really need to do that, because from what I've seen, the 5 automatic conferences are the ACC, the Big 10, the Big 12, the SEC, and the American. What happened to Conference USA, MAC, Mountain West, Sun Belt? You could argue with me that, those teams aren't better than American or this, that, and the other. Fine, no problem. I can have that debate with you. But where's a lot of those teams, when they're playing in their conference, are 10-2, 11-1, 12-0. And yet, as we've stated on this show before, it's all about the logo that you're wearing on the side of the helmet that gets more play versus how you actually are as a team and how you actually play. So that, to me, is kind of the discrepancy where, did they get it right? Yeah, fine, sure. It's friggin' week 10? All right, I'm not going to, lose my mind over what's going on right now, or what the rankings say. But, it's this idea that the American Conference, and I'm not saying the American Conference sucks, by the way. I'm not saying that at all. But the idea that the American Conference is by far better than Conference USA, MAC, Mountain West, and Sun Belt, I think is a much better and easier argument, where I would beg to differ on any given week.
Oh, there's no question. I think a lot of, again, prior to the loss that Memphis suffered last night against Tulane, a lot of the thing with Memphis was, because of the success they had last year, they won double-digit games. They had some momentum coming into this year, and so when they get that win against USF, even despite the loss to UAB, okay, feel like they've earned the right going back to last year to get in, whereas a team like Boise State, for example, fell off, obviously, after losing Genty and going to the playoff last year. So that might be part of the rationale. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to – it looks like USF is kind of back in the mix after that loss by Memphis last night, but we've still got almost a month to decide who gets in. What are your takeaways on this, Arthur, on the top 25 and in particular the college football playoff rankings?
So why do I care what the rest of you going on? Comfortably.
I think we got robot Arthur back. Arthur, here we go. We got you back.
Oh,
we got you back. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We got you back.
And robot Arthur is crazy. So what Terminator Arthur could not say that I can say clearly is that, why do I give a crap about what the rest of y'all got going on? The team that was supposed to be number 1 going into the season is still number 1. I could care less what the rest of y'all think. Okay, my Buckeyes, we number 1. Everybody was like, well, Indiana should be number 1 because they're harder schedule. I don't care. Okay, we're blowing teams out. Number 1 offense, number 1 defense. The rest of y'all, just catch up. Have fun. Okay, But on a serious note, I definitely do get what Tim's saying. That's one of those things where I've been confused, right? BYU, I think, is the biggest example for me. Pretty sure they're still undefeated. And it's like, wait, how are these guys not higher in the rankings? They have the undefeated schedule. They've done what they're supposed to do to their opponents, which is beat the crap out of them. So why do we not give them that respect and put them a lot higher like we would, Ohio State and Indiana? Hell, if Bama was undefeated, we would have them higher. But it just confuses me when we have 1 or plus teams over teams that are undefeated. It's something I've always questioned ever since I was young. It just baffles me. But I agree with Tim. I believe it's also because of that logo, right? So, BYU having them undefeated isn't the same as having, again, a 1-loss, 2-loss Alabama team in the top 3. It's just not the same. It's same thing with the Ole Miss. It's not the same. I believe there does have to be respect put on other conferences, even though the conferences are breaking down. And this is something that we've had a discussion, I think, about since the college football playoff started. Is like, okay, starting off, it was like, okay, SEC is definitely getting in, right? The SEC was just dominating to where they had a bunch of teams getting in. Big Ten, Ohio State was probably guaranteed almost every year to definitely get in. And then it was just everybody else when we have 4 teams. And now we've expanded and expanded and expanded. And it's like, okay, it's still the same thing. Big Ten's definitely getting in. SEC's definitely getting in. Clemson, when they were on their rise, was definitely getting in. But now they're not on the rise anymore. So it's like, okay, so Big Ten, SEC, okay, cool. Who everybody else, right? But it's like Tim said, the rest of these conferences are getting the respect and love and shout out. Again, why? I do not know. If we're talking team, just how the teams play, they definitely should be getting their respect. But if we're talking about the power of the universities and how much that carries, and again, this is also about money. If you're not going to rake in money for viewership and all of that, why do we have you in the college football 25? That's why when I saw Memphis, and I was going to put Memphis in my top 25, but I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't because, oh my goodness, that disappointed me last night. But when I think of Memphis and how they're playing 8-1 before they lost last night, I'm like, how are they not in the top 25? Right? Like, they've been playing well all season. How do they not get the respect? They were in there and then they get dropped, and it's just confusing. They're still playing they're still a really great team playing very well. What is going on? I do not know, but it goes back to what Tim said. It's the how much money you can make. If you're not a Power 5,
we got you. You're good.
Wow. I love you trying to give me credit, but then of course the robot takes over.
All in all to say, if you're not Power 5, the respect. Wow, that's hilarious. If you're not Power 5, you're not going to get that respect and that attention that you deserve, and that you more than likely earned. That's just the gist of it.
And there isn't Power 5 anymore, though. That's the problem. It's basically a Power 1.5, and we're going to talk about this later. But again, I would argue that, and Florida Gator, SEC, no doubt. But I would argue it's the SEC, and then maybe a handful tops of Big Ten teams.
Yeah, I mean it's really 3. It's Ohio State, Oregon, and Indiana. Like those are the 3 teams. Certainly Ohio State and Indiana, we feel almost 100% confident they're going to be in. Oregon, as long as they take care of business. But I think a lot of it, Arthur, to your point, sort of has to, because you're talking about, same problem. We extend the playoff, but yet an inordinate amount of SEC Big Ten teams get in. I think it has a lot to do with the depth of the conference, bias, logo biases we've talked about. There's more iconic programs as those conferences are structured nowadays, especially with the Big Ten adding USC and UCLA and Washington, Oregon, the SEC adding Oklahoma, Texas. These are big name programs where now the Big 12 has BYU and Arizona, and they've extended to a certain degree. The ACC added Stanford, like well-known programs, but certainly not college football blue bloods the way that some of those programs I just mentioned are. So some of it's bias, some of it's depth of conference, and some of it is, let's be honest, there's more talent in the SEC and the Big Ten. There just is. Like every year in and year out, you can almost count on one of those teams or a Notre Dame potentially to win a national championship. So I think it factors into a lot of what the playoffs doing. And to your point, Tim, I tend to agree with you, especially with get a couple of trusted sports writers, people who have pretty much unimpeachable records, get some college football Hall of Famers, some coaches. And, it goes back to what the late Mike Leach said when he was like, I love that the fate of college football comes down to a committee. Who are these people? No one really sure, but it comes down to some suits in a room making decisions over the fate of college football.
Well, and don't forget, too, that the very first college football playoff had Condoleezza Rice as a decision maker. Like, say what you want about, like, I got no problem with Condoleezza Rice and what her history is, but as a college football decision maker, like, what are we doing?
Media, coaches, and players.
This is my problem. It's got to be trusted media, not crazy people who make a name just spewing crap, but trusted journalists, former college football coaches, college football Hall of Famers. It's not hard because they know the game.
No question. And the thing is, too, like your example, like a Condoleezza Rice or anybody else who's kind of outside of the college football apparatus, so to speak. It's not that these are highly intelligent, highly successful people. I think we all three have a lot of respect for former Secretary of State Rice, but a lot of it has to do with the closer you are to the sport, the closer you are to sort of, I mean, you got to watch all the games. Like that's what it comes down to. And some people just, they got other things to do. Right. And like it's, athletic directors are busy running their programs. They don't have time to sit down and watch BYU's 10:15 p.m. kickoff game against Arizona. Like they don't have time for that. And so I completely agree with you. So, okay.
That's why
go,
my fault to cut you off, Bryson. That's why I think all of these things we need to be able to watch.
Yeah.
Legit. This, bring back the draft lottery. I'm talking about that real draft lottery. Like where we get to be in the room and like actually see what's going on. That's why it's like, why can't we just watch what y'all's do? I want to watch and hear your debates, your arguments, your logic to why this team, that team. I really want to hear this stuff because it's a given. We know who's going to get in and stuff like that. We've seen how they play and everything. But again, when it goes back to those universities and those teams who really deserve a shot, we're not talking about a college football playoff. We're talking about just a bowl game. Like, can I at least get a ranking or something? We should be able to know why this team isn't in, right? I believe as fans, we're owed that, I would say. Aren't we?
I 100% agree. I mean, I think something else that'd be a good idea too is just for the TV drama of it, like, Reese Davis announcing the top 12 once we get to the college football playoff. Once that's over, because, they usually bring like the president of the committee on to explain. I want them to have I want them to mic up the room of the decision makers, why the rankings are as they are. And then after Reese Davis announced the top 12, pan right to that. All right, go right to that recording and let's see the rationale. I mean, not like we talked about this about a month ago, and I'm shocked that more, I don't know if this was an ESPN thing or if this was an ACC thing or whatever, but that Florida State and Virginia game that came down to double OT, excuse me, there was a controversial touchdown we talked about in this show. They had the ACC review center mic'd up, like the transparency aspect. Okay, we agree with this call. We're good. Okay, on the same page. Here's the call. So like I think that would be good. A little bit of a different conversation, but I think the more transparency there on sports, the better.
And this is why I go back to why the hell are ADs in here, especially ADs that have a athletic history in another sport. Yeah. Not only are these people, like a lot of them have never played sports, but they're basically good salespeople. And when you sit there, and this is probably part of the reason why, is because when they sit down and they start talking about the teams, they're going to go back to the talking points that, the basics everybody knows. They're not going to go in depth. They're not going to talk about, they're going to be like, oh, look, Ohio State's undefeated. This is what the ADs are saying. Ohio State's undefeated. Therefore, I have them number one. Rather than sitting there saying, well, yeah, Ohio State's undefeated, but so is Indiana, and Indiana's played a tougher strength of schedule, which can circle a debate. But do you think the ADs give a damn? No. They're looking at the AP polls. They're looking at the coaches' polls. They know exactly what those rankings say, and they're going to talk out of their ass on crap like that that's so basic, instead of breaking down the actual game and the actual film. That's why we're not going to get mic'd up rooms, which we 1,000% should. And plus, it would give a hell of a lot more drama as to why, So this is my issue where I see that, and I'm like, you have over 60% of the committee made up of freaking athletic directors. Get out of here with that nonsense.
I think we're all pretty much in unison on that. Like, again, the more transparency, the more qualified individuals to be a part of this committee. If you want to make the committee bigger, I don't know if make it bigger would necessarily help, but
12 just fine. But just
12 people's fine, but get the best in there to make those decisions. There's no question about it. So this segment should be fun. We're to transition to what's the rivalry called, Tim? Florida and Georgia?
The world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
I'd say a lot of cocktail was consumed by Florida fans after this game because the Gators lost to the Florida Gators, an absolute heartbreaker in Jacksonville, Florida, 24-20. Late in the game, last drive for Florida. We don't have the rights to show the footage. We do have a frame to show a catch made, or at least what appeared to be a catch by a Florida wide receiver. Ball bounces. It looks like initially, it bounces off the ground in the receiver's arms. Closer review showed, it looks like it probably bounced off the inside of the receiver's arm, never touches the grass. He has control, and that should be a first down for the Florida Gators. Tim, I'll let you have the floor, buddy. Go ahead.
So, before I get to that, you asked the question, did Florida get robbed? And I would say they got robbed from an opportunity to win that game. But in terms of getting robbed as a whole, Georgia gained 361 yards, 231 of it, which is 64%, came on their 3 touchdown drives. The remaining 130 yards was spread over 9 drives. The Gators, in all 4 quarters, total yards gained. First quarter, 96. Second quarter, 31. Third quarter, 100. Fourth quarter, 54. And had that catch counted, obviously that 54 would have been much different. UF was 2 for 11 on third downs, and both conversions were on third and shorts. The rest were third and medium, third and long. Georgia, on the other hand, averaged 3rd and 9 and was 7 for 15 on third downs, averaging 8.2 yards per third down. So, was Florida robbed of that game? No. Was Florida robbed of an opportunity to win that game? 1,000%. Because when I saw that live, and yeah, it's hard because his feet are sliding backwards. He's trying to dive forwards. And on initial call, fine. You know, it's an incomplete pass. I get it, why that was the initial call. But I'm sorry, there was plenty of replay review that when you break it down and you're watching, even the slow-mo, even when you're watching in slow-mo, his arms are out like this, right? I'm trying to get the forearm. The ball hits right here, and you see the ball literally turn 90 degrees. So all of a sudden, instead of the tip being hit the forearm, now the tip, the other side of the tip, is facing the outside of the arm here. And if the tip is facing the outside of the arm, that means the ball is spread out across. And the fact that his forearms are just arms width apart, that the ball never touched the ground. It is clear as day. It is so obvious. And the irony is, all the Georgia fans who are out there posting that screenshot where you can't even see where the ball is, and the funny part is, they were the same fan base that just a handful of weeks ago was bitching about, oh, well, you can't pause the clip, where Auburn scored that touchdown. Everyone paused the clip saying, see, the ball would have been right here, right in the guy's arms. He crossed the goal line. The ball would have crossed. But everybody, all of Georgia was like, you can't pause it there. You can't do that. And yet they're doing the same thing. They're pausing it at an exact moment where you can't see the ball. Whereas when you're watching the slow-mo replay, it's clear as day where, the tip of the ball hits the inside of the forearm. The ball turns 90 degrees and is flat across his forearms. So, yeah, that was 1,000% a catch. They were 1,000% robbed of an opportunity to go and score the game-winning touchdown. And it just goes to show that Georgia has Georgia, but the SEC has money on Georgia because they are a big product. And if Georgia lost this game, it would have changed a whole hell of a lot for the college football playoff. So the SEC had a vested interest in Georgia winning this game and did not want to leave it up to the to the players on the field, and that's exactly what happened. So it's infuriating. It sucks. I was at a bar. I was screaming my head off that these refs need to be jailed immediately, dragged off in handcuffs, because I hate that stuff. I hate it with a burning passion. When it's clear, when you have something like that, and of course, all the camera angles are just, just enough where it leaves you questioning yourself. No, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that J. Michael Sturdivant caught that ball. It was a legal catch. The ball never hit the ground, and the refs all need to be in jail right now, because that is bull. The fact that Florida was robbed of an opportunity, and not for nothing, all college football fans were robbed of an opportunity. Because how much more fun is it that catch happens and then Florida gets an opportunity inside the 30-yard line to score the game-winning touchdown, or the very next play, nothing, they don't get the first down and the game's over? What's more entertaining to the college football fan? Obviously, Florida making that catch. So when people talk about rewarding the big play, I'm 50-50 on that, because when you reward with the referees, when you reward the big play, okay, I get it. It's a big thing. Obviously, I just mentioned that. But also, too, if it's an egregious, penalty, or it's an egregious thing, then, yeah, you need to make that call. Otherwise, jail the refs. They should have been dragged out before the end of the game in cuffs, because that was nonsense. Florida was robbed.
I was waiting for the jail the refs. It was only a matter of time before we got there. But listen, and our guy Barry is in the comments. Too much talk about tips. See, this is where this man's.
Barry, you got a dirty mind.
No,
you got a dirty mind.
BG, we was on the same wavelength, dog. There was plenty of times I was about to come over here and just say pause, but hey, then everybody would have been looking at me like, "What are we talking about? What do you mean?
The tip of the ball. Come on, guys, get your head out of the freaking gutter."
We just got to make sure, we just got to make sure.
Yeah, you did say a lot. But, to your point, like, a lot of review goes back to, okay, irrefutable evidence to overturn it, right? Because initially the call on the field's incomplete. Watching live, I was like, yeah, I was watching a tailgate in Knoxville. I was like, yeah, the pass was absolutely incomplete. But then you go back and it's like, oh, the ball clearly bounces off his forearm. Like, there's a level of obviousness to it that it should get that play overturned. Again, shout out to our guy Barry, host the All Even podcast. Just giving us crap here in the comments. I absolutely love it.
Oh yeah,
Arthur, your take on this, because I know we had an excellent debate. It was basically me and Tim versus you on the Virginia versus Florida State catch in double OT about a month ago. Do you agree with Tim on this one? Because I tend to agree with that. I think it was clearly a catch.
So the funny thing about that, and I've watched the replay back a bunch of times. I watched it this morning. I was watching it just now. Why do we not see like the front? We saw the right side, we saw the back side, left side. Why do we not see the camera angle from where it's
there is a camera angle from the front, and even the front looks like a catch.
Well, I gotta look at it, because you said it. Like, when I saw it, okay, I was saying, okay, dang, like it hit the ground. But as you said, it hit that left forearm and then it bobbled right over here to the right. And that's a catch. Okay, so it's like Tim said. Tim read the stats. I could not lay it out better. They were not robbed the entire game. They were robbed of an opportunity. Because if you're able to get that, and you're able to get downfield like that, that's a confidence booster, especially when you've shown that only in one quarter. Well, they scored 90, they did 96 in the first, but when you're able to only get 100 yards in one quarter, right, and be able to move the ball effectively like that, this has been part of Florida's, downfall the entire season. You haven't really been able to move the ball the way you want. And it's not really been a strength. So when you're able to get that, when you're able to just finally get a crack at the armor of the Georgia armor, it's like, dang, okay, cool. We got 3 minutes left. We've got plenty of time to just, go out here and do what we got to do. And we can get this. All we got to do is, we got to score 7. We got to score 7 and pray that our defense holds and firm and all of that. That, again, that's a confidence boost.
See, I think we may have lost Arthur again. It's
not
robot.
Arthur, check the robot. All right, check the robot chat. check the private chat.
Sheesh.
I just sent you I just sent you the front video.
Bet.
You know, so like check the private
I'm looking
chat,
at it right now. I wish we could show it live without fear of copyright, but like it's
a
that's
hard
a catch.
part. Yeah,
That's a catch. There's no other way around it.
Hey man, that call was put in. That call was put in.
The SEC had a vested interest in Georgia winning this game. It's clear as day. Come on.
I don't know if I go to that point, but it is an indisputably atrocious call, and this is a terrible statement to make on a college football show. This is why I have a slight bias toward the NFL over college, for the simple fact that, for as flawed as the referees are in the NFL, they're better than the college ones. I mean, they just you don't think so? You think they're worse?
I think they're absolutely worse.
College refs are bad, Tim.
Yeah, they're bad, but they're not NFL bad. Are you kidding me? It's the NFL. You have the best of the best, or you should have the best of the best. And listen, I can write off college referees. Don't get me wrong. Yes, am I bitching about one now? Absolutely I am. But I can write off more bad calls in college than I can with the pros, because that's professional. Yes, college is pseudo-professional, but it's professional. It's the NFL. You should have the best of the best. And as I said on, I think, Bryson, your show, stop hiring these effing kids of referees. Stop with these Nepo babies. You know, they do the same job as their daddies. Like, come on. Like, let's go out and actually get the best of the best. And if it just so happens to be that kid, great. So be it. But a vast majority of them have ties to former referees.
You're not wrong. That's a legitimate gripe. I feel you there. Okay, so this is an interesting discussion. This is actually something that you suggested, Tim, about something that Steve Sarkisian said, that head coach at Texas, because Texas is sitting there at 2 losses. They're the first team out of the playoff after looking like a month ago they were dead in the water. They lose to Ohio State. They lose to your Florida Gators. They lost to the 2 guys on, I guess, the right side of my screen, technically. They end up losing both of those games, but they're still alive. Steve Sarkisian talks about it was basically posing the question, should a three-loss SEC team get in the playoff? And we kind of had this discussion to a certain degree last year between SMU and Alabama's. Okay, wait a second. SMU had got to a conference championship game, push Clemson to the wire. Alabama has 3 losses, better wins than SMU, but their losses are pretty bad. Into a 6-win Vandy team, 6-win Oklahoma team, and they ended up putting SMU in the playoff over Alabama. Let me pose this question to you first, Arthur, because since you're not the SEC guy, so maybe you can give a less biased take than me and Tim can. It's going to depend on some weird circumstances. Should a 3-loss SEC team get into the college football playoff this year?
Yes, because cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Come on now, man. Are we for real right now? Hell yeah. They don't care. Are you kidding me? This is easy. Yes, it does not matter. Bro, Texas can be the 3-loss team, because that's what he's really saying.
Yes.
That's what he's really saying, posing that question. Hey, he didn't mean it. He didn't want to say we, though, but everybody know what you're implying there with that question. Y'all are one of the teams closest to 3. So, hey, you Texas that come in as a 3-loss team. If Texas is a 3-loss team, you think that committee's going to sit there and be like, 3-loss team, this team is looking better, that team is looking better. Cool. They did it with Alabama last year. I promise you, if Nick Saban was the coach, they wouldn't have.
That's That's actually a fair point.
So come on now, hell yeah. This is a Manning. We're not about to have a Manning in the college football playoff. It don't matter what people think how his play is here. It doesn't matter how the film shows he's played this year. We have a chance to put another Manning on live TV, prime time in the college football playoff. Heck yes. Okay. Yes. Cha-ching, cha-ching, money trees, money. Come on, man. It's obvious. Heck yes.
Well, and Texas has been really since the NIL era, they've dominated in that department. So the money in Austin's off the charts. And I mean, let's keep it a buck. Texas is sitting here at 7-2. They got one easy game the rest of the year against Arkansas. They played Georgia and Texas A&M in 2 of their last 3 games. If they split those, then the conversation will be like, well, they beat Vanderbilt when Vanderbilt was on a roll. They beat either A&M or a bitter win, be at Georgia in between the hedges. Like, it's hard to keep them out. I mean, that their resume is better than Virginia or Georgia Tech or, like an ACC team that doesn't have. What do you think about this, Tim?
I mean, I know I posed this question, but why is this a question? The obvious answer is yes. Because when you look at everything, so am I the one saying that Florida beating Texas was a fake top 10 win? Yes. Am I getting disproven by that by the week? It's getting there. But what I will say is, how many schools, Miami, A&M, Georgia, Texas, how many of them have said that Florida is the most talented team that we're going to face? All of them. All of them have said that. So when you're looking at that, and yes, we've had Billy Napier regardless, but the SEC as a whole is so damn talented that outside of losing to, actually this year, I don't even know who losing to hurts you. All right, Kentucky. If you lose to Kentucky, sure, then yeah, that hurts you. But basically, the entire SEC is so talented that if you split us up and put us in the rest of the other 9 conferences or 8 conferences, every single school is going to be 1, 2, at worst 3, because that's how talented all these teams are. So losing to an unranked Florida this year doesn't necessarily hurt your cause, because you can look at Florida and say, they're super talented. Look at that team. If they had a competent coach, then they could have beaten our ass. And that's part of the game. Part of it is looking at the strength of the team that you lose to. And so when you compare SEC losses, hell, to Mississippi State versus, Big Ten losses to Minnesota, 2 very different losses. And the loss, I think, favors you losing to Mississippi State than losing to Minnesota. Not to diss any of our Minnesota fans, but you have to give me that credit that Mississippi State is better than Minnesota, regardless of record. And this is the problem that, going back to the ADs earlier, do the ADs actually understand that? And my fear is they don't. So, yes, this isn't even a question. I would argue that, yeah, you should have 3 lost teams from the SEC make it. And by the way, one of those 3 lost teams that is currently sitting at number 25, your Tennessee Volunteers.
So you're saying we have a chance, Timmy?
I'm saying that you are a much better team than some of the other teams that are slated to get in.
I mean, I tend to agree with that. I mean, listen, last week's game against Oklahoma was pretty disappointing, but Oklahoma's no slouch. They're a very well coached team. Oklahoma's an excellent team, but we see in the draft every year, guys, and I know ACC and Big 12 and to a certain degree Big 10 fans get mad at us for this, but every year the SEC tends to have the most players drafted. Forget just from the top conference or top teams, the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Texas, like you said, that second tier, the Tennessees of the world, the Oklahomas of the world, just up and down the list. I mean, we had a Kentucky corner go in the first round.
Went to Mississippi State.
Yes, yes.
Again, the issue is, and people get all up in arms because ESPN, while people want to say that they have an SEC bias, it's because we're the best freaking conference as a whole, as a collective. And am I wrong when I say that the SEC as a whole is the best conference?
Nah, not at all. I think right now when people talk about the Big Ten and how we've come back up, I think it's recency bias. And it's like Bryson said, it's Ohio State, it's Indiana, and it's Oregon. The only other teams that could really you can make an argument for it. Yeah, but even Penn State is like, well, Michigan, they have a freshman quarterback, like a real freshman quarterback. They'll be fine. Bryce Underwood will be fine. That program will be fine. And they're going to rise up the ranks in the next 2 years, with him at their starting quarterback. But yeah, no doubt. It's still SEC as far as college football is concerned, I believe is still king. Even again, you just see it this season. Alabama starts off rough, but then Kalen DeBoer and everybody, they right the ship. LSU is still LSU, despite the terrible quarterback play and the way the team has been functioning. But Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Texas getting back into the fold. Florida, I mean, come on now. It's just too much ammo there for the SEC to where it's like, recency bias can't kill the SEC history, the SEC dominance, especially from, an Alabama standpoint, from what they've done the last 20 years.
Yeah, and listen, and I'm not even talking about the best teams. I'm just talking about as a whole, like recency bias or history. I'm talking about as a whole right now, when you look at all the teams in the SEC stacked against all the teams in the Big Ten, all the teams in the Big 12, all the teams in the ACC, it's no question. It's like back in the day when the Patriots, used to get play the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs. It felt great because the NFC North would kick each other's ass left and right. Like it was a brutal division. And that's the same thing with the SEC. It is a brutal conference that all the teams, for the most part, generally are within a stone's throw of each other. Like it's not hard. It's not hard to lose to these guys.
Well, that's the thing is that the Big Ten is very. I think if you took the top 3 teams in the Big Ten, I would even almost throw Michigan into this. They can match up physically to the top teams in the SEC. I firmly believe that. Ohio State certainly can. I think Indiana's proven to us that they can. Oregon, we'll see. I think Michigan can. Michigan's built a tough team from both sides. It's the depth that we're talking about. It's who's the 10th best team in the SEC? I'm just trying to like Mississippi State. Mississippi State beat Arizona.
It's an easy target. Yeah,
I think we tend to
nearly beat Texas. They nearly beat Tennessee. They have a wild home environment. Show me the 10th best team in any other conference. Hell, show me the 5th best team in any of these conferences and compare them to Mississippi State. And I generally would probably take Mississippi State over them.
Well, I would argue Arizona State has a case to be the 5th best team in the Big 12, and they played Mississippi State. And now, again, I know that, like you said, road environment, but still, they lost straight up. So, good discussion, guys. It is now time for our first curated segment of the day. It is now time for our buddy Arthur Hurst to start Buckeyes Breakfast. Arthur, take it away, buddy.
What's going on, everybody? Again, Buckeyes Breakfast with Arthur Hurst. We number 1 in the country. Okay, sitting atop the mountain comfortably. It feels amazing up here. We just looking now. Okay, we see Indiana. Cool. That's cute. We see Texas A&M. Okay, cool. That's cute. Hey, man, it does not matter. It's us. We're number 1. And we go up against the Purdue Boilermakers. This game is one of those games to where you circle on the schedule because of our history with them. And it's because they've beaten us, especially as a ranked team, 8 times. 4 of those is when we were top 5. So that this is one of those games where the Boilermakers just buckle up and really just play their best, right? 2018, when we were really on the road, that was a devastating loss that we had under Urban Meyer. Again, this is one of those teams. Iowa's another one to where it's like they can give you a fight. If you're not coming prepared and ready to play, they can give you a fight and they can upset you. And that's what they've done. Again, 4 times, top 5. They've done it 8 times. I don't see them doing it this year, though. 2-7, first-year head coach. Julian Sayin, who is the Heisman favorite right now, has a wide receiver who should also be a Heisman favorite in Jeremiah Smith. He has another great wide receiver in Cardinal Tate, who will be a wide receiver 1 anywhere else. That's the easiest wide receiver duo right there in the country. You've got Lamar Jackson. It doesn't matter. The man can run. The man's a great player. Getting us downfield, he has tremendous speed. He can hit the hole very well. This running back room is growing into its own. They have some problems. CJ Down. we back. CJ Donaldson's got to hit his defenders in the mouth, got to get that extra yardage if you're really going to play that power back position very well. I also talked about it the last few weeks, how this run block offense, we gotta do something. The left side of that Ohio State offense is a strong side. We love running to that side. But as a whole, this run block offense has to be better. We're allowing too many times guys to be able to just blow the lineup and just get back there and get our running backs. I understand, we have, again, just a dominant wide receiver core. We have a really good tight end in Max Clare, who we got from.
We have lost Arthur Hurst, it appears, here on Buckeyes Breakfast. Let's see if maybe we can get him. Oh, hang on. Maybe a new Arthur Hurst comes in. Hang on. We got him. Here we go. There he is. Arthur Hurst. Take it away.
Booting. I booted. That's insane. But it's okay because we're going to boo Purdue like that today. Okay. So as I was saying, Max Clare, tight end, who we got from Purdue as part of this amazing offense. Though I know we want to be balanced. Coach Ryan Day has always wanted to be a more balanced team. He's shown that plenty of times. That's the reason why we lost to Michigan the last 4 years, is because you want to prove that we can run the ball effectively against our defense. Why? We have Jeremiah Smith. We have Marvin Harrison Jr. We have CJ Stroud at quarterback. Why are we trying to act like we can run the ball against this Michigan Wolverines defense? Just throw the daggone ball, make them have to commit to the pass, then we can run, right? But this team, they can throw the ball. Use that to your advantage. Quit trying to be balanced. When we need to run, and I mean need to run, we can go ahead and run. But other than that, just get the ball downfield to your best, the best wide receiver duo in the country. And then this defense continuing to play great week after week after week. And they don't like what we did this past weekend. We're giving up opportunities and stuff. But Matt Patricia, I love how you're blitzing. I love how you're using Arvell Reese as a QB spot. I love how Caleb Downs is able to just do whatever he wants as that roaming free safety and being able to do whatever he wants in the secondary. I love how Caden Curry and the rest of this defensive line is being able to just dominate offenses. However, when we go to that 3 lineman against offenses in the trenches, it hasn't worked out quite well, right? That 3 linemen and then everybody just backs up. We've been getting our butts kicked on that a little bit. Let's go back to that 4-line defensive lineman formation that's really been able to put pressure on quarterbacks, really be able to knock them off their rocker, and then let your defense take care of itself. That extra lineman in there seems to really, really help. So let's quit trying to be cute and just get back to the basics, get back what's been making us really do really well on defense, and just continue to dominate these teams. But right now, we're just sledgehammering our way to the college football playoff. Michigan is always going to be a battle, so I'm really looking forward to that game. I can't wait till it comes because it's 2 young, 2 talented quarterbacks playing against each other, and Bryce Underwood and Julian saying that Michigan defense is going to have to worry about the best wide receiver duo in the country, a running back room that's up and coming and really trying to, prove to themselves, prove to the college football who they are as a running back room, and it's being the coach under Ryan Day. But right now, Purdue is standing in the way of that, and they finna get Boilermake. They're going to get trained. They're going to get run over. They're going to get booted like I was booted just now from the street yard. But, hey, that's just what happens sometimes. You got to deal with it. You got to accept it. But difference is I can come back. I can come back on here. Purdue, it ain't going to happen today. And it's at home. Oh, mwah. It's going to be so amazing to watch. But that's Buckeyes Breakfast from me, Arthur Hurst. We're going to go to a break, and we'll be back with the Saturday Morning Tailgate.
Welcome back to the Saturday Morning Tailgate podcast live here on the Grit Network, episode 9. Absolutely delighted to have everybody here. A shout out, by the way, to Arthur Hurst for just rebounding like a champ. And by the way, that's how you do it. All right, that is a master class and be able to get back on your feet. Internet connection's going back. The internet connection looks fine now, Arthur. I'm glad you're able to fix that up, going well. But let's go and get in our top 25s list. Tim, I'll go and put up yours to start off. Go and give us your top 25.
All right, starting off, we got Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, and Alabama. Not much has changed there. Obviously, Ohio State getting the big win over Penn State. Indiana destroying Maryland. A&M making LSU look like fools at LSU too. So that's always fun. Bama was on a bye. And then, of course, I got Ole Miss at number 5 after their big-time win versus South Carolina. Next, I got Oregon. They're going to face a tough test at number 20 Iowa this week. And then I've got Georgia after their near defeat versus my Florida Gators. So, yeah, they won, but they didn't win by enough, in my opinion. Then, of course, I've got BYU, Notre Dame, and Texas Tech. That top 10 is definitely going to change, seeing as BYU and Tech are playing each other today. And number 9, Notre Dame. They are obviously coming off a good win at Boston College. So that is my top 10. Moving on to my 11 through 20. We've got Oklahoma, who is now going to be on a bye week this week, picking up a massive victory versus the Tennessee Volunteers. Shout out to Bryson Carver. Then I've got Georgia Tech, their tough loss at NC State. And I've got Texas as number 13. I jumped them from being unranked to now 13. Vanderbilt after a tough loss against Texas. Then I got Michigan. I've got Missouri, Utah, Virginia, Louisville, and Memphis. Obviously, Memphis is now officially out of my top 25 after last night, but this was obviously made before then. So I will not have Memphis in my top 25 as of next week. And then rounding that off, 21 through 25, USC, Iowa, Navy, Washington, Tennessee. I got USC. They had a very good win versus Nebraska last week. Then Iowa is going to face probably their toughest test of the season, but at least for them, it's at home versus Oregon. Navy's going to be playing Notre Dame today. Washington is going to be at Wisconsin. And then Tennessee is on their bye, but I will say, you want to ask why I have Tennessee at number 25, even though they're 6-3? Simple. SEC bias, baby.
Thank you very much, Tim. That says a lot for you to give the Vols that love, despite the fact that, I'll be honest, we really don't have an impressive win thus far this season. We just straight up don't. It should have beaten Georgia. Let's you're 3-5. Slow your roll there, Tim. Okay.
I know where I stand.
I'm just saying.
Where I stand.
2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now. All right, we'll see in Gainesville, Florida, who the better of these two teams are. Obviously, the Vols have not won in Gainesville since 2003. I believe that'll change this year, but we'll obviously have a great show in a couple weeks to talk about that. Arthur, let's go ahead and put up your top 25 list. What do you got here, buddy?
Ohio State at the top of the mountaintop. No argument needs to be said. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm surprised Tim had Ohio State at number 1. I really thought he was going to put Indiana just because of their strength of schedule. I thought that is what he was going to do. But hey, at least he is objective. At least he knows
I am nothing if not consistent. I am nothing if not.
So I appreciate that. So Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M have been the 3 consistent teams so far throughout college football. BYU is another one. I know I just immediately skipped to number 7, but I got to show them love because, again, it's about consistency, as Tim just pointed out. Alabama and Georgia have righted their ships. Ty Simpson and this Alabama team have played a lot better. Georgia, y'all playing scary. I really don't like it. Okay, I really, really don't like where Georgia's playing right now. This is the most scared, most vulnerable I believe they've looked in a very long time. Again, the fact that you guys almost lose to Florida just because – and you didn't because, of an opportunity that was robbed. Like, let's be honest. Come on now. Ole Miss, they should honestly be in my top 5. But the fact that you lose to Georgia, that still bugs me. I'm not even going to lie. That loss still bugs the hell out of me from Ole Miss. I really don't like that. I really don't like that loss. Again, I believe they should be top 5. BYU, consistent team, doing what they're supposed to do, taking care of their opponents. Texas Tech and Oregon and Notre Dame. Notre Dame started off rocky. Oregon, they don't look the same. I don't know what it is. Just this past year, last year, they looked dominant, right? Dylan Gabriel starting quarterback, and they were just manhandling teams. That offense was going along. That defense was going along. This team just doesn't look like that team from last year. Their quarterback is still talented. Quarterback is still really good, but they just don't look like the same Oregon Ducks team. Number 11, I got Texas. Listen, man, I got to give credit where credit's due. Okay, I do. They look good. I'm not finna say they look great. They look good. Okay, Arch Manning does look better. But again, there's a reason why he's coming back next year, because he still doesn't feel very confident in the fact that he is that who we thought we were, who he thought he was, right? The same thing with this Texas team. They still don't look, elite like they're supposed to, but they've righted the ship. I can't be mad. Their offense looks a lot better. Arch Manning, who's been playing through injuries, has looked a lot better. And I believe that's helped. The noise has helped. Confidence from Sarkisian has helped, and the rest of his team. OU, I got them rounding out number 12. Mateer, it's all on him, okay? And we know that. The rest of the season is all on how John Mateer plays. There's nothing else to say. Virginia, Utah, Louisville, I'm surprised. I'm not even going to lie.
Frozone Arthur is back, ladies and gentlemen. I think we got him back. Let's
Terminator,
back.
Frozone.
For this is No, this is Frozone. The Terminator is when it kind of like glitches out. That's fine. I think we got Arthur back. You there?
We got
Frozone's
several
20.
different authors.
All right, here we go. We got Arthur back.
Frozone's 20. I'm not even going to lie to you, BC. Vanderbilt. Hey, man, listen. You win some, you lose some. They're going to be fine. I believe that today, this is, you just get your revenge game back. You get your revenge win back. They didn't play well at all last weekend. I was thoroughly disappointed. I thought they'd be a lot better, but that defense, oh my God, dog. Mollywopped, and that offense just wasn't able to get anything going. Georgia Tech, slump, but they'll be fine. Miami, this is a disappointing one for me too. Carson Beck and the Miami Hurricanes. What are y'all doing, dog? Like, come on. Y'all should be in the top 5. There's no reason why you should be low like this at all. USC and Iowa. I'm a Big Ten guy. I love the Ohio State Buckeyes, but I am a Big Ten supporter. I'm proud of what the Big Ten is doing. And USC and Iowa. USC is trying to build that program back up. Iowa, we know who they are. Okay, they're always that. I talked about it with Purdue earlier. They're always that team that will get you a loss. Okay, they're guaranteed to get a big, high power. Ohio State. Oregon, possibly. I don't believe they'll beat Oregon today, but there's a chance that Oregon loses to Iowa today because they just have that history of we beat those Big Ten teams that are high up in our conference every single year. We have at least 1 or 2 of those every single year on our record. 21 and 22. Again, Big Ten teams. Michigan and Washington. Bryce Underwood is continuing to develop, continuing to play very well. I cannot wait to see what he looks like his junior season coming out of Michigan. Missouri, Pitt, and Tennessee. Missouri, again, we're talking about Missouri like how, why? When Nick Saban brings you up as one of those SEC teams that just looks dominant, that's how you know we are in the end times. Because how in the hell are we in a time where Missouri is talked about as a premier college football team, especially in the SEC? Tennessee, y'all have been disappointing. Bryson, put your face on the screen, okay? I want to say this to your face. What is going on with your Vols, okay? I agree with you. You don't need to fire your coach. But my goodness, y'all should have been better than this. Y'all are better than this. And I can't wait to find out from you what exactly is going on with this team, dog, because I'm surprised. Joey Aguilar is really, really good, okay? I thought with how he was playing, he was going to be the Heisman favorite this week. But come on, man. Y'all got to right this shit. Y'all are better than this, or so I thought.
Well, thankfully the Volview's coming up in about 5 minutes. I'll tell you exactly what's going wrong with this team. But It was a frustrating Saturday night in Knoxville last week, to say the very least. It was a very deflated stadium, despite crazy atmosphere, by the way. But I'll talk about that in a few minutes. All right, go and put my top 25 list up there. Yeah, the defending champion Buckeyes are the clear number one team in America. I know folks have talked about their strength of schedule, and I get that to a degree. But, hey, the Texas win looks pretty good today, given how the Longhorns have bounced back, and they beat Texas when they were, at the time, the number one team in the country. And the thing is, defending champions, not only have they played who's on their schedule, they've dominated whoever's been on their schedule. They really haven't played around with their food except for like a first half here or there. And they'll get tested at Michigan in Ann Arbor. That's kind of Ryan Day's bugaboo. We'll see how it plays out. And then the playoff, obviously, you're playing all excellent teams. Indiana, number 2, they've got the most impressive resume in college football. I believe Fernando Mendoza, as we see here today, is the best quarterback in college football. I've got Alabama at 3. I know they got one loss, and A&M at my number 4 team has 0. Alabama's strength of schedule has been tougher. They're undefeated in the SEC. Yeah, they had the hiccup early against Florida State, but that feels like a million years ago. Florida State's fallen into a complete irrelevance. Alabama, Ty Simpson, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, that entire team is absolutely rolling right now. Alabama at number 3, A&M at number 4, undefeated, playing great on the offensive side of the ball. Georgia at 5. Arthur makes a good point. Like it's not the same Georgia team that we're used to, man. Like, this is a team that's kind of being carried by their offense to a certain degree. Like, do you trust their defense? They almost were down 17-0. Probably should have been down 17-0 to Auburn. Could have easily lost to Florida. Like, there's some vulnerabilities. Could have, if not for a field goal, would have lost to Tennessee. Like, there's some vulnerabilities in this Georgia team that we simply have not seen in Kirby Smart teams in the past. We'll see if they can be able to continue to play good football and get to the SEC championship game in Atlanta. Oregon at number 6. Again, there's some vulnerabilities that I've seen from the Ducks as of late. That close-ish win against Wisconsin was a little bit concerning. At home in Austin, that should be a walkover win, as bad as the Badgers' offense is. It wasn't. We'll see how Oregon is able to play this week against Iowa. Ole Miss at number 7. Trinidad Chambliss has been solid. They've gotten good play at the quarterback position. Running game is off the charts. Lane Kiffin is doing a great job. Will he go to Florida? Will he leave for LSU? Only time will tell, but I think he's doing a great job at Ole Miss, and he seems, as of right now, to be pretty committed to the Rebels. Notre Dame is at number 8. Listen, I know I've saw a post on social media. No team gets more of the benefit of the doubt than the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Yeah, no ish. Yeah, of course they did. They just went to the national championship game last year. If you got one of the top coaches in college football, Marcus Freeman, CJ Carr is a really talented young quarterback. And listen, they haven't lost since week 2 in a game that they probably should have won against Texas A&M. They've taken care of business, and there's no question, run the table here. Notre Dame will be in the playoff. BYU at number 9. Listen, they've gotten great play out of their offense. They run the football effectively. They've won some close games. They had an overtime win earlier this year against Arizona. Big-time matchup against my number 10 team, Texas Tech, who's been playing solid as well. So 9 versus 10. That'll be a fun matchup today in Lubbock. Next top 10 teams. I've got Oklahoma at number 11. Listen, they were impressive in that win over Tennessee last week, forcing 3 turnovers off my man Joey Aguilar. The fact that they're able to win a game in Knoxville on the road, in which John Mateer barely throws for 150 yards, is a testament to their running game, is a testament to situational football. Their kicking game has been excellent, although the kicker, those shorts, I don't know what the heck those are, but hey, he's making his kicks. Kudos to him. Texas is at number 12. I've got them a spot below Oklahoma, honestly, just because I think Oklahoma overall has a slightly better resume than the Longhorns have this season. But Arch Manning, kudos to him. 24 touchdowns total this year. He's played much better. He had his best game of the season when he was on the injury report all week against Vandy last week. Louisville at number 13, Virginia at 14. Virginia's time is coming. I'm telling you, it could be this week against Wake Forest, could be next week against Duke. Virginia is on the ropes to lose a game at some point because they're very much playing with fire right now. Michigan at number 15. We'll see how they continue to progress. Georgia Tech, tough loss against NC State last week, but I think they're well coached. They'll rebound. Vanderbilt, number 17. Before I continue, can we put all 3 of us on screen for just a second real quick? Because I feel very validated, and I feel very glad with the fact that I never once, I caught hell from both y'all for not putting Vandy in my top 10 over the last couple weeks. You're hating on Vanderbilt. And I never bought into it. I'm not saying they're not good. Not saying that they're not a top 25 caliber team. I'm saying that say Vanderbilt and top 10 the same sentence. It just doesn't roll off the tongue well, guys. Like, can I get that at least? I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. What was it? I'm sorry. I just woke up. What was it? Can somebody please repeat what he just said?
Vanderbilt should have never sniffed the top 10.
Oh, sniffed? Like
sniffed?
No,
not even none of that. I mean, am I right or am I really right? I mean, let's keep it real, guys.
Oh my God.
I don't think I'm going to get a response at all from Tim.
And yet you guys call me a friggin' homer, and
Homer? No, I've just told you Vanderbilt's overrated.
Gracious. Like, hey, at least I can be effing objective. I mean, good God Almighty!
I cannot, guys. It's
21 more days, Tim. 21 more days.
Think about this.
Can't wait, dog.
Think about
this,
guys.
Wait.
Think about this, okay? So Tennessee's pretty much out of the playoff. The Tennessee's pretty much out of the playoff.
Vanderbilt is better than Tennessee. Yes. Vanderbilt should have been in the top 10 the last couple of weeks. Yes.
Just wait. Vanderbilt's going to have an opportunity. They should win their next couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt will be a win away from the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
And they get to come into Knoxville, and we get to end their season. Oh, yeah. Oh, listen, we see Vanderbilt on the road. We saw them lose at Alabama. We saw them lose at Texas. They're going to come to Knoxville and get their butts handed to them.
Arthur, you know who Bryson reminds me of?
Who?
All those athletic directors of the college football playoff committee.
How dare you?
Not objective, just straight homerism. I mean, this is absolutely absurd that Vanderbilt shouldn't have sniffed the top 10.
Is 17 fair?
What college football are you watching?
I'm watching the one where they can't win on the road. They lost at Alabama. They lost at Texas, and they're going to lose at Tennessee. I'm telling you, they're good at home. They're good in their newly remodeled, still rebuilding stadium in Nashville.
Nearly shat the bed. So
that game, they were never going to win that game. They weren't. I'm sorry. I watched that game. Texas outplayed them from start to finish. They did. They were better. And Vanderbilt.
Then why was it a 7-point game at the end of it?
You talk about Jalen refs.
Have an opportunity, and they nearly got the damn onside kick.
And you talk about Jalen refs.
How did they have that opportunity? Did they outplay them?
They took their foot off the gas pedal. This was not a Vanderbilt.
Oh, yeah, they took their foot off the gas pedal, i.e. they didn't outplay them.
They didn't outplay them? Oh, wait a second. They didn't outplay Vanderbilt on last Saturday?
No, you said they outplayed them from start to finish. I'm saying that why the hell did Vanderbilt come back?
They outplayed them for 90% of the game.
And the 10%, they let them back in, and they nearly blew it. If it wasn't for the freaking ball bouncing out of bounds, Vanderbilt would have won the damn game.
Put the list back on. We're just messing. This is nonsense. Okay. Oh, I can't wait for November 20th.
Yeah, wait. Who was the one that wanted to bring us all in here? Who was the one that wanted to bring us back and let us talk?
That's fair. You know what, Tim? That's fair. I got Missouri at number 18 only because Vanderbilt did beat Missouri. USC's number 19. Miami's disappointing. They lost to SMU. They shouldn't have lost to SMU. Carson Beck's overrated, and Lane Kiffin told us that during the offseason. Last 5 teams. Utah number 21. I still need Utah's just been a little too inconsistent for me to put in the top 20. Memphis at number 22. That was, God, I was feeling so good. Oh my gosh, they're going to be the 12 seed. I picked them to be the 12 seed before the season, and their season pretty much just went up in smoke against Tulane last night at home. Mind you. Washington, number 23, and my Vols at 24. Yes, there's some bias that comes in with that. But listen, I think we're better than Iowa. That's really what it comes down to. But Iowa's played good football. We'll see how they fare against Oregon today. Listen, guys, I mean, when you're right, you're right. Like Vanderbilt's going to get cooked by the end of the season, and we're going to come in conference championship Saturday. And it is going to be a beautiful scene. I'm going to have shades on. I'm going to be decked out in orange, head to toe, and it's going to be a beautiful thing to see. Yeah, I mean, y'all know what's coming. You know what's coming.
You mean rivalry Saturday, not conference?
No, I'm saying the week after is what I'm saying. Like the week after, so I'll be able to celebrate on the show because baby, I can't wait. After all that trash they talked in the offseason, after all the trash y'all talked to me about Vanderbilt being better than Tennessee, they're ranked higher than Tennessee.
Hey, what's Vanderbilt's record? What's Tennessee's record again?
It'll be the same at season's end, 9-3. That's what I'll tell you right now. It'll be the same at season's end.
10-2. Here we come.
10-2. Oh, I can't. I cannot wait for it. Okay, you know what?
That gaudy orange. I'm so scared.
Oh, no. Listen. Have you ever been to Neyland Stadium, Tim? Have you ever been to Neyland Stadium?
I have not.
It's loud as hell. That's what I'll tell you right now. That place is going to be nuts. Diego Pavia is going to be overwhelmed for right off the bat. Okay, let's stop messing around. Let's get to the Vol view with yours truly. So, listen. Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed right now. I'm not going to lie. That was a tough loss last week against Oklahoma. 33-27 was the final. And, that was a game we needed to win. I said last week, said for the last couple of weeks, hey, Vols still controlling their own destiny for the playoff. We talk about, could a 3-loss SEC team, get in the playoff? A 2-loss SEC team is absolutely getting the playoff. I had Tennessee run the table. That is, of course, off the table now because, again, they lost to Oklahoma after they put together a nice, solid opening drive, and the place is going crazy. And I mean, I was in Knoxville. Oh, that place was just the roof, the proverbial roof was blown off the top of the stadium. It was a blackout, and the band was out, lit up with the power tee. It was an unbelievable scene. And Tennessee goes up 7-0. They stop Oklahoma. They get the ball back. They're driving down the field. Joey Aguilar gets stripped. Big fella, big defensive tackle, recovers it, runs down the sidelines. I think he may have stepped out of bounds, potentially tie the game, and Oklahoma rides that momentum from there. Joey Aguilar has 3 turnovers, and the Vols lose. So what's there to play for from here? If nothing else, certainly to end the losing streak to Florida in a couple of weeks, which we have not won in Gainesville since 2003. So if there was ever an opportunity to beat Florida like this, feels like it would be it, at least on the road. And then Vanderbilt the week after, which we talked about in the show. I cannot wait for that game. The Vols are on a bye. I hope that cooler heads prevail among some of the more insane members of Vol Nation. Because in the immediate aftermath, I was eavesdropping in conversations at Neyland after the game. I was looking at social media. I mean, you see it on X, on Instagram, on people's Reddit boards, everywhere. Facebook. Josh Heupel's the problem in Knoxville. The hell he is. Oh, what are we talking about? You're talking about a fan base. Because Tim and I were actually having a conversation about this before we went on the air. Like, it's the NIL era. Like, some of this, it leads to a quicker frustration. It leads to more impatience among college football fan bases. That is true, but not in this instance. This is a fan base well prior to the NIL era, the current NIL era we're in. This is a fan base that when Philip Fulmer, the second greatest coach in the history of the Tennessee Vols to the great General Robert Neyland, coming off of an SEC title appearance in 2007, a resume that spanned a decade and a half, a national championship, 2 SEC championships, multiple other appearances in Atlanta. Going to 2008, we need to see results. We are not happy with Philip Fulmer. So as you might imagine, when the Vols start 3-6, they call for his head and they get their wish. He ends up getting fired at season's end. So they replace him with Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin has a cup of coffee, goes to USC. So that didn't really work. Derek Dooley gets hired from Louisiana Tech. He's the worst coach probably in Tennessee history. Vols are awful. They're 0-15 against top 25 teams with Derek Dooley. In the 3 years he was there, we won a grand total of 4 SEC games. Then Butch Jones, who could recruit. Butch Jones could recruit. There's no question about it. And won some big games here or there. He helped in the losing streak against Florida, the Hail Mary against Georgia. Like, we remember that. But by and large, pretty average. 6 games over 500, and he's fired before his 5th season concludes. Then you bring in Jeremy Pruitt, defensive coordinator from Alabama, who I didn't buy from day one. And guess what? 3 years in, losing record, in the SEC. I think he was 2-11 against top 25 teams. Vols underachieved the whole time that he was there. And he ends up getting fired because of recruiting violations. As a matter of fact, he's in the midst of a show of cause, suspension from the NCAA. He cannot be a part of college football until at least 2029. In comes Josh Heupel. Inherits a program that was not only in the gutter in terms of not being able to win games, but was in the gutter in the sense that between September 2020 and 2021, Vols had 35 players transfer. For context, 14 players on average in the SEC transferred that year. Tennessee lost 35 in that year span. Within a year and a half, the Vols were the number 1 team in the country. By November 2022, number 1 team in America. I get it. We're 5 years in, hasn't made a SEC championship yet. As you could tell by our conversation on the shows, if you could tell by watching college football, it's hard to get to Atlanta. As deep as the SEC is, forget getting the playoff, it is brutal to be one of the top 2 teams in the best conference in the land. He's beaten Alabama not once, but twice after we'd gone 15 years of that being the Tide. He's beaten Florida multiple times. He's helped us finish in the top 10 twice. He got us to a playoff last year. And you mean to tell me coming to this year, when at the 11th hour, Nico Iamaleava transfers to UCLA because he doesn't get a raise. Boo Carter, who is supposed to be kind of your do-it-all player on offense, defense, special teams, ends up getting sent home from the team for disciplinary reasons. You lose your top 2 corners for basically all of the year in Ricky Gibson III and Jermon McCoy. So your defense is decimated from day one. And oh, by the way, your quarterback, Joey Aguilar, who, by the way, upgrade over Nico Iamaleava, don't get me wrong, but he was not on the Vols during the spring, so he's having to play catch-up. I read an article where he was having to learn the offense via Zoom. So it was a catch-up process for the quarterback, for the coach, the offense. And yet it's November 8th, 2025, and the Vols sit as the 25th best team in the country with still a chance, if they were to run the table from here, including a potential bowl game, to still get to another 10-win season. So any Vols fan that is calling for this guy's job should have their Tennessee fan card restricted indefinitely. You know, Tim has talked about toxic fan bases, and they call Florida a toxic fan base, and this is a toxic fan base. If you think this guy's a problem, get the hell out of here calling yourself a Vols fan. So that is it for this week's edition of Volview. I'm going to try and cool off as we go to break. When we come back, the cover crew, we got Gator City, and of course, as we end every show, with our college football game day picks. That coming up in just 1 minute here on the Saturday Morning Tailgate. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Saturday Morning Tailgate, episode 9. Glad you took some time to be with us to kick off your college football Saturday. Tim, am I right about the Vols being a toxic fan base?
Well, yeah. When you're talking about firing Josh Heupel after starting off hot and then having kind of a midseason slump, yes, it is ridiculous. And you mentioned, how Florida, people calling Florida a toxic fan base for firing a coach who had a losing record and the worst win percentage since the 60s. Yeah, it's clear as day that the national media hates Florida and yet loves every other fan base because we're getting killed for doing something we should have done. Meanwhile, LSU is getting praised for firing Brian Kelly. So, yeah, with what you guys are dealing with, you at least have a good coach who has the capability of making good play calls and winning games. It just hasn't worked out in certain points.
The short memory of Vols fans it truly drives me up a wall. It really does. Listen, I know, great Colin Cowherd, Radio Hall of Famer says all the time that fan is short for fanatic. Like, I get that. But obviously, man, there's a difference between fanatic and irrational. There just is. Fanatic is passionate. You want your team, you're pissed when they lose, you're excited when they win. And then there's, hey, let's get rid of the guy that got us this point. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's get to our cover crew picks. We're going to start with you, Arthur. Just showing some good old-fashioned Buckeye bias, huh?
What you mean? Ain't no bias at all. No, I have arguably the best quarterback in college. I easily have the best wide receiver duo in college. I easily have the best defense in college. There ain't no bias. Again, the only thing about this thing is that Purdue is just one of those teams to where they get us, right? It is just one of those ones to where it's later on in the season. For some reason, I don't know, they need to get drug tested because Iowa, they confuse me, dog. They can be ass. Like, Purdue is 2-7 this year, and they will still find a way to beat us. It confuses me. It has since I was young. It has since I was 2018, but it's okay, man. That train getting smacked off the damn tracks today.
Can I ask a question then? Why are you taking Ohio State to win by 4 touchdowns?
Because, dog, again, I have the best quarterback in the nation. Okay. I have the best rivals. See, this is what happens, Bryson. I said he's arguably the best. Now, since you asked me that question, now I just got to die on my sword. I got the best quarterback in the nation. Okay. I easily have the best wide receiver duo, and I easily have the best defense. Come on now.
Arthur, isn't the last time you picked Ohio State at over 24 points or at minus 24 or more points, they won by like a handful of points? I think
no,
early in the
because
season.
whatchamacallit, Wisconsin. We ended up getting it against Wisconsin. What was it?
Oh,
Like
that's right,
34
yeah.
to 10, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah.
no, I was
All
close.
right.
I was close.
Early in the season that happened, but Wisconsin. All right, yeah.
Fair enough. Tim, what's your pick here? We talked all about bias. Let's just keep the train rolling down the tracks here.
Absolutely. Riding with my Gators. I mean, the fact that it's -3.5 against Kentucky and we're playing differently, like you could tell playing Georgia that, okay, yeah, we, didn't gain as many yards or this, that, and the other, but you could tell we were playing differently and that the team felt looser than usual. Plus, we're getting Aiden Mizell back. We're getting true freshman Vernell Brown III back. We're getting some guys back. Meanwhile, other guys are going on the IR, but that's a whole different, story. So, otherwise, we're playing Kentucky. Kentucky blows. It's the worst team in the SEC. They're not talented. Their coach is halfway out the door, if not 90% out the door. And it's Kentucky. Who cares that it's in Lexington? The Gators are going to run over the friggin' Wildcats. And at -3.5, what a joke. So, yeah, give me the Gators. Let's go.
I think I tend to agree with you in that spot. If y'all lose to Kentucky, Tim, that would be
forget lose.
disaster.
If it's a game,
hold on.
If it's a game
do you
against
think
Kentucky,
I care? If we lose to Kentucky, do you think I'd care? We fired our coach.
You can't lose to Kentucky, Tim.
I understand that, and I have all the faith and confidence in the world. But you posed the question. If you lose to Kentucky, I don't care. The season's already over. Like, that's why I couldn't give a damn.
Pride's got to come in the mix there at some point, Tim.
No, apparently not.
Did you posed the question if you lose to Kentucky, and I answered it. Otherwise, I have 1,000% confidence we're gonna win in Lexington tonight. And not for nothing. What the hell's in Lexington? Nothing. So
I've been to Lexington. It's a nice little town, but it's a basketball town. I mean, it is nice part of the country.
Basketball town that hasn't won a national championship in how long?
Fair enough. It's like man, you stumbled on something, Tim. You know what it is? They're the Yankees of the SEC. Gotta love it, guys. Oh my gosh.
Guido's going to be pissed.
Guido's going to hate this. Shout out to Mike. Y'all can bond over your miserable lives as Florida Gators fans. All right. Well, Florida Gators football fans, because your basketball program is fantastic. There's no question about it. All right. I'm rolling with BYU plus 12.5 at Texas Tech. Listen, I'm shocked the line's as big as it is. I know Texas Tech is a great team at home. They bludgeon, Utah on the road, so they're excellent at home. I get that. But BYU's playing good football. They're undefeated. There's a certain element of, man, when you're eking out some of these close games in a conference like the Big 12, there's a certain moxie that comes with that. So I like the Cougars plus 12.
So are you taking them to win, or are you taking them to cover?
I'm taking them to cover. We'll say my predictions for the end, but I'm definitely taking them to cover. I think 12.5 is too many points.
See, the funny thing about that is I had somebody last night ask me about that game, and I'm like, yeah, don't put that on your parlay. Don't put that on your parlay, because, dude, I'm sorry, because I'm looking at that. You know what? We'll talk about it later because it's one of our games. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, it is now time. This should be fun for Gator City with Tim Barnard. Tim, go ahead and take it away, buddy.
Damn white screen every freaking time. Welcome into Gator City, guys. So, again, I've already talked about the Georgia game, how it wasn't so much that the Gators were robbed of a win, but robbed of an opportunity to win because of that no-call catch, which clearly was a catch. And the couple things I did want to talk about was, first of all, after the game, a viral video posted of DJ Lagway, chatting it up with some Georgia players, taking a selfie with a Georgia coach or, recruiting assistant or something like that. And people were all pissed off, and then DJ Lagway's father had to go out and defend him and be like, guys, he's played with these guys since, high school, and prior to that, like, they're all friends, this, that, and the other. And to that, I agree. Like, the fact that, people are so butthurt over that type of video, the thing that I shouldn't say upset over, but the thing where I was watching that video going, oh, that's not a good look, was not for DJ Lagway. It was for the Georgia assistant coach or the recruiting assistant, director of player personnel, who literally took a selfie with the kid. That's where I was like, huh? Unless there's a prior relationship that I don't know about, that was, I think, crossed the line where you shouldn't go. Like, especially when you're a coach or an assistant recruiter or any of those types of things, unless DJ played for Georgia and then transferred to Florida, something like that, then fine. I'd understand. But ultimately, that was a bad look, I thought, for the Georgia guy. And the players, that's just today's game. All of these guys are playing AAU. They're playing in travel teams. They're, going state to state, playing against one another, playing with one another, leading up to that point. Why are we pissed off? Why? Because I hate Georgia with a burning passion that during Nick Saban's tenure, I was rooting for Alabama to beat Georgia. Like, that's stupid. The players all know each other. They're friends with each other. This, that, and the other. Like, okay, big deal. Whatever. Like I said, I thought the only unprofessional thing was the Georgia coach taking the friggin' selfie. Otherwise, I didn't really have a problem with it. And listen, and I understand why the fans are upset. And I think both fans, if anything, should be upset. But it's because you want your players to hate the other team as much as you do, especially when it's an arch rival like a Georgia, like a Tennessee, from a Gator perspective, like a Georgia, like a Tennessee, like an LSU. You don't want to see them mucking it up after the game. Like, that sucks. It breaks, to use an old wrestling term, it breaks kayfabe, where you want to see, Hulk Hogan hate the Iron Sheik on and out of the ring, where when you see them getting beers after a match, you're like, what the hell? Like, that doesn't make sense. But in today's world, that's all you see time and time and time again is players, chatting it up, dapping each other up, like giving hugs and all of that stuff, asking about how their family is. So I really didn't have a problem with it. I was kind of, I was shocked when I heard the story of fans getting upset by that, because if we don't know by now, I mean, come on. We'll never know. Like that's the thing. It's like, this is the modern sports, guys. We got to get through that. But going on to how the likelihood of this season plays out, we're going to be at Kentucky tonight. We're going to be at Ole Miss next week. We're home against Tennessee and home against Florida State. Now, there's a very good likelihood we can win 3 of these next 4 games. I think Kentucky, Tennessee, and Florida State. I think the thing is, when you're looking at a game like Ole Miss and a game like Tennessee, I think those are the 2 biggest question marks on the rest of our schedule. I still see us beating Tennessee since we're home, but I still give it a slightly more question mark than I would playing Kentucky or playing against Florida State. But with the way this team played last week, yes, I get that. Hey, we had 96 yards in the first quarter, 31 in the second quarter, 100 in the third, and 54 in the fourth. Obviously, I said it earlier in the show. Had they ruled that catch correctly, obviously we'd have a lot more than 54 yards in the fourth quarter. But the way we seem to play, especially offensively, we looked a lot more loose. We looked like DJ Lagway's restraints were gone. And Billy Gonzalez was like, DJ, sling it. Let's go. Have some fun out there. Rather than what Billy Napier was trying to run. So, with that being said, I don't expect to beat Ole Miss. I think it would be hilarious, and I would love that. I don't expect it to happen. But given these next 2 weeks, and if some of our guys who are currently hurt can make the comeback, for the last couple of games of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if, we do go 3-1 the rest of the way. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the season plays out. There's a lot going on, obviously, with the coaching search. The odds are changing more towards Lane Kiffin coming to Florida. So the bet, when Vegas is talking, when Vegas is adjusting the odds like that, there's something to be said. So it would be awesome. I think that Lane Kiffin is by and far the guy we need to go after and the guy that we need to get. But, hey, it's currently favorable that that's going to happen. There's a lot more that's going to play out. We still have the rest of the season, obviously the college football playoff, and, with Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin potentially. Otherwise, what do you guys think? Gator stuff, comment down below. Otherwise, we're going to come back, take a quick minute break. We got our game day picks right after this. So stick around right after this break.
Welcome back to the Saturday Morning Tailgate, episode 9, and we get to our favorite segment that we do all throughout every single show, and that's make our game day picks. Let's get right into it, gentlemen. So we're going to start with an SEC matchup featuring the Georgia Bulldogs and the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Battle of the Bulldogs. Who do you like in this matchup, Tim?
So, as I said, I think it does. It's favorable for the SEC to have Georgia win out, which is why they got the benefit of the no catch last week. But with that being said, Mississippi State, win or lose, has always put up a hell of a fight when teams go to Stockville. With that being said, give me the Bulldogs.
Which one?
I know. Mississippi State.
Whoa, okay. We got an upset. Mississippi State. That's a good line there, Tim. I saw what you did. That was solid. Mississippi State and an upset. Okay, well, listen, they're hard to beat on the road. Georgia, we talked about earlier, hasn't played their best football as of late, so I don't hate the pick. Arthur, who you got in this game?
I'm going to have to go Georgia, but I'm not mad at Mississippi State at all. That would be something. That would really be something.
That would shake up the mix a ton. I'm also going to go with Georgia. There's just a talent gap there, and I've been pretty impressed by Gunnar Stockton this year. But, the defense hasn't been great. And would I be shocked if Mississippi State had a lot of success running the football? But I really wouldn't. Another SEC matchup, we've got the Auburn Tigers, who just fired Hugh Freeze, going on the road to take on my beloved Vanderbilt Commodores. Who do you like in this matchup, Tim?
Anchor damn down. Give me Vandy. After they lost to Alabama, Bryson, don't forget, they beat number 10 LSU. So
they did.
So don't tell me that Vanderbilt was not a top 10 team at any stretch this season. So give me Vanderbilt to bounce back and have a big-time win against Auburn.
Talk to him.
I'm telling you, Vanderbilt was never a top 10 team this season. Arthur, who do you got in this game?
Vanderbilt. Come on now, bruh. Come on now. It's too easy.
Trash.
Trash
take by Bryson.
I thought about it long and hard.
No, you did not. Why are you lying?
And I think I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. I'm not an idiot. I may despise the Vanderbilt.
Them a non-top 10 team, and then you go on to say you pick Vanderbilt and say that I'm not an idiot. I would
against Auburn. Crap. I will say, if this was at Auburn, weird stuff happens. No, serious. I'm dead serious. Weird stuff happens at Auburn.
That's true.
Georgia almost lost there, and Bama's playing on the road this year. That could be a dangerous spot for them.
The catch, the catch in what 2014? Yeah.
Are you talking about the kick six, or are you talking about?
No, the same season, but it was
same year. That was
where it bounced and just landed right in.
Might have been back-to-back weeks, if I'm not mistaken, or at least it was within the same 2-3 week stretch.
Yeah.
It was a wild year for Auburn. All right, Wake Forest on the road against Virginia. Listen, the Cavs have been playing with fire the last 2 weeks, but Wake Forest has kind of been a mid ACC team. Who do you like in this matchup, Tim?
So, Bryson, I know you said last week that Virginia is poised to lose, especially with how close they've been playing, and I agree with you. It's just not coming this week. Okay. Virginia Cavaliers. It's going to come next week when they play Duke. Otherwise, because especially with Manny Diaz and a fun stat, which we'll talk about in the next game. But, give me the Cavs.
All right, Arthur, who do you like?
I'll take the Cavs as well.
I think clean sweep across the board. I think Virginia's the better team. And I think I took Wake Forest this year to beat. I think I might have taken the upset Georgia Tech, and they almost did. But again, just kind of an inconsistent team. Speaking of ACC teams, you got Miami at home against Syracuse. I put this game on not necessarily because I think it'll be close, but just because, man, Miami lost a game they should not have lost last week against SMU. Tim, I know you just love the Miami Hurricanes like I love Vanderbilt. Who do you like in this game?
See, this is where, unlike you, I can be objective.
Okay.
So I will take Miami in this one. But fun fact, Manny Diaz at Duke has a better win percentage than Mario Cristobal at Miami.
Okay. That's something. It's not nothing. It's not everything, but it's something. Arthur, who do you like in this matchup?
Miami.
Yeah.
Hey, man, listen, I'm not even going to lie, dog. A lot is just going wrong for Carson Beck, man. Something got to go right. I'm not even gonna lie. Then again, I'm not gonna lie. You are in Miami, so a lot is going right. But at the same time, it depends on the perspective. I think it would be going very, very well for me. Quarterback wise on the field, no. Off the field, come on now. I ain't complaining about a damn thing.
I bet you wouldn't be, Arthur. Listen. Lane Kiffin said it best, and I love the line. It's like, they paid him $4.3 million. Did they see Carson Beck against us? Like, no, I thought Miami was out of their minds and going after him. So, but I do think Miami's a better team than Syracuse, no question. Cal versus Louisville. Louisville's obviously playing good football in the ACC. Who do you like here, Tim?
Louisville.
Arthur?
I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. Aaron Rodgers and Marshawn Lynch ain't there anymore. It's Louisville.
I like Louisville as well. They're playing good football. They're trying to push to make the ACC championship game in Charlotte, so I think they get a big win here. All right, a game that I'm sure before the season we thought was going to be a college football playoff deciding game. Could be, I guess, potentially if one of these teams loses, but one of them just fired their coach, LSU, and Alabama has not lost since week one. They're undefeated in the SEC. This has been one of the best rivalries in all of college football for the last 15 years. Who do you like in this game, Tim?
Whit Weeks is out. They're all SEC linebacker for LSU and All-American. That's where I was looking for. All-American linebacker. He's out. And on top of them firing Brian Kelly and that program just being an absolute joke right now. Give me Bama.
How about you, Arthur?
Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide.
Roll damn Tide.
I'll say this. I might take LSU to cover. Because the thing is, we saw it with your Gators last week, Tim, and I've talked about.
We're not talking about covering, though. Who's going to win?
No. I think Alabama's going to win. Don't get me wrong. I think Bama's going to win. But there's a substitute teacher element. I've always said interim coaches are substitute teachers, right? Remember, substitute teacher comes in, you watch a movie, you don't really do anything in class. Everyone kind of lets their guard down, like takes a deep breath. Again, like we saw from your Gators last week. I could see that happen at LSU with the kind of the hard ass that Brian Kelly is. Interim comes in. Take a deep breath. Let's go out there and compete against Alabama. I've got the tie, but I actually think LSU is going to cover in this game. All right, Navy against Notre Dame. You've been high on Navy all year, Tim. Do you think they pull the upset here?
No, not at end. No, it's Irish all the way.
Arthur?
Man, ain't no team that just runs one play over and over and over again is going to be the top 25 team. Irish could be on their deathbed, okay? And they would still win this daggone game, okay? The luck could be gone, okay? Jesus could leave them forever. They would still win this game. Come on now, dog.
But let's slow down just a little bit there. Christ himself is on their side. I think I'd probably roll with Navy. I'm going to go with Notre Dame to win this game. They're CJ Carr's playing great football. I think he's going to be one of the rising stars in the sport. So I've got the Irish winning this matchup. Okay, big matchup in the Big Ten. 3:30, Oregon on the road against newly top 25 in the college football playoff, Iowa. Who do you like here, Tim?
I like upsets this week, so give me Iowa.
All right, Arthur.
Not mad at it. I'm gonna have to go Oregon, but I'm not mad at it at all. Again, I was just one of those teams where when it comes to facing the big leagues in the conference, they win. And it's upsetting. And they have one of the best traditions in college football, waving to the kids in the hospital right next door. So
that's a hard place to go win. I'm with Tim. I like the upset. I think Iowa pulls that. Oregon has not looked that great in the last few weeks, so I think I was able to pull the upset. Oregon will still be fine. As long as they win out, they'll still be in the playoff, but the Hawkeyes get the upset here. Next up, we've got Texas A&M going on the road against Missouri. Who do you like?
Again, I like upsets. Give me Missouri.
All right. Arthur, who do you like in this one?
Texas A&M finna beat that Tiger to a daggone pulp. Come on now, dog. Come on.
I think Missouri's been overrated all season long. I've got the Aggies in this one. Finally, a game that kicks off. And
I think it's overrated. My good, listen, I know I've been on the thing of we're in the end times when Missouri is talked about as a elite, college football team in the SEC. But come on, man. Like, we got to stop at some point, Bryson. This is Missouri, okay? This ain't Vanderbilt, okay? Whatever, I get it. But this is Missouri we're talking about. They've earned this.
I mean, who loses?
Vanderbilt's earned this too. But this is Missouri.
Who loses to Vanderbilt? I mean, like, what are we doing, right? Like, this is just I'm playing with y'all at this point. Yeah. All right, last game before we get out of here. We got BYU versus Texas Tech, a huge game in the Big 12. Could very well decide who the Big 12 champion is when this season is over. Who do you like in this one, Tim?
I am going with Tech in this one. I just don't think BYU, I think they're less about to run out.
Okay, I know because you're a huge fan of former Texas Tech Red Raider Patrick Mahomes, so that's why you're going with Tim's face. Oh, that was so perfect. That was great. We got to frame that. Arthur, who do you like here?
I'm going to C. I plead the fifth.
What?
You heard me. I said I'm going with C. I plead the fifth. This game, dog, it just comes down to a lot. This is very surprising, and I'm gonna have to go with BYU. I think Texas Tech does have a chance. It's the same thing with Iowa and Oregon. Iowa always going to have a chance. I think Texas Tech has a chance as well. But BYU, man, they're just going to have to play their game, right? Now let Texas 2 bring them out of their development, what they've been able to do all season. But I'm gonna have to take BYU in this one.
There's something about winning close games in the Big 12. We saw it with TCU a few years ago. I think BYU's kind of got that thing on their side right now. I've got BYU winning this game on the right. I had them on Cover Crew plus 12.5. I think they win this game outright against Texas Tech. All right, that is all the time.
Year? Hang on, was that the same year TCU got their doors blown off by Georgia?
Yes. Yeah, it was. Same year, yep.
It looks like the writing's on the wall then for BYU.
Writing could be on the wall for the Cougars. That could be bad news if they face an SEC team. All right, that is all the time we have for today's show. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Catch the Saturday Morning Tailgate next Saturday, as always, at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific time, anywhere you get your podcast, YouTube, X, the whole thing. Have a great weekend. Enjoy some college football. We will see you next week. Have a great week. God bless y'all. Peace out.